In this video, I'm going to recap solving absolute value equations. So this is the first page of our notes packet that we took this year. So we started off with the absolute value of 5x minus 10 equals 45. So you can see right here, this is where we started, right here. The first thing we did was we wrote the same exact equation, but without the absolute value bars, okay? I never want you trying to solve when the absolute value bars are still in there. So once your absolute value bars are alone, you can rewrite it without the bars. So 5x minus 10 equals 45, and then solve, okay? So add 10 to both sides, divide by 5, and you get x equals 11. Now, you have to check your work when you're solving absolute value equations because you can get extraneous solutions. Okay, so what we did was we took our x equals 11, we took our original equation, emphasis on the original equation. You have to check with the problem, or with the equation that the problem gave you. So we have 5 parentheses 11 minus 10, so 5 times 11 gives you 55, minus 10 is 45, equals 45, and the absolute value of 45 does equal 45. So that one works, x equals 11, that's good, that's a good solution. The other thing we have to do is, since we can take the absolute value, since the inside, see if you see up here, the inside can be negative and still be fine because we take the absolute value of it. So what we do is we take the inside, keep it exactly the same, but set it equal to the negative version. Okay, so 5x minus 10 equals negative 45. We solved, we checked our answer. Okay, so right here are the steps that are going to work every single time. All right, the first thing you do is you have to get the bars by themselves. See how up here the bars are by themselves? You have to do that first. Then you keep it exactly the same without the bars, and then do the negative version. You solve each equation, and then check. Trying to go to the next page. Went too far. Sorry about the delay. All right, so remember, extraneous solutions appear to be valid, but when you check them, they give a false result. Okay, so right here, this was our original right here. 2 times the absolute value of 2x plus 12 equals 8x. We had to get the bars by themselves first. You have to get the bars by themselves. So we divided both sides by 2, and that gave us this right here. So this is really our starting point now. So the first thing we do is keep it exactly the same, but without the bars. So 2x plus 12 equals 4x. Then we solve. So we solved, we got 6, we did everything right. We plugged it back in over here. So we have 2 parentheses 6 plus 12. Oh, actually, let me move this over a little bit. We had the 2 in front, okay, because remember we checked with the original equation. And then everywhere we saw x, we put 6 in parentheses. We solved. Okay, so what you can do is put this entire thing, so everything inside the bars there, the 2 parentheses 6 plus 12, you can put that in your calculator. Gives you 24. Absolute value of 24 is 24, so 24 times 2 gives you 48, and that's true, so that works. Okay, then what we did over here was we took the exact same thing on the left-hand side. So we took the equation that we got when we got the bars alone, but then we made the other side negative. Okay, so negative 4x. We solved, we got negative 2. We did everything right, but when we plugged it back into the original equation, we ended up getting a false statement. That's okay, it just means it's extraneous. So on your quiz, you would note that it was extraneous, okay? So yes, you did everything right, but sometimes math isn't as reversible as we want it to be, so it didn't work, okay? Down here, same thing, we got the bars by themselves by subtracting 3x. So when we split up our equation, we split it up from here where the bars were alone. So the first time, we kept everything same, we just took out the bars, we solved for x, we checked it, okay? Again, you can take everything inside those parentheses, put it in your calculator. It worked, that's a good answer. Over here, once we found our solution, it ended up not working, okay? And that's fine, right? And you can see we took the equation that we got when the bars were alone, we set it equal to the opposite. So since it was already negative, we made it positive. Once we checked, it didn't work. That's all right. That happens. All right, so I went a little off track here, off of our notes, because I wanted to show you, this is number 4 on your quiz review. I wanted to show you what we do. Sorry, this is messing up. What we do if we have two things on the right-hand side. So the bars were alone, okay? We kept everything the same, but then when we made it negative, we had to make everything negative. So the 10 turned negative, the 3x turned negative. So really what you're going to do when you do that second equation is just the sign is going to flip for everything, okay? So we solved these, we had an extraneous solution. Again, that's fine. Backtracking to number 3, the very first thing you have to do is add 1. Okay, we cannot break this up if the absolute value bars aren't alone. We had to get the absolute value bars alone by adding 1. Okay, so that is solving absolute value equations. I'm going to scroll down and show you this just in case you want to see it. Okay, but it's different than inequalities because in equations we always have to check our answers. Okay, equations, you're either going to have 2 solutions that work. You could have 1 solution with an extraneous, or you could get really crazy and have 2 extraneous, but I don't think we've seen that yet. So that is solving absolute value equations.